Hello guys, what's up? This is Shark Talk and welcome back to my channel. Well, today's video is about the Scarlet Gaze event. The special boss from this event is Scarlet Gaze EX Divine. This has a recommended mine of 170k, but it actually is way more than that. This boss is actually the worst balanced boss released in the game so far, but I still haven't even tried it. It's just based on the information I got. I didn't have the time to try this stage before, so I'll be doing this right now. I know I'm a little too late, but I hope that I can at least teach you guys how the special bosses will become moving forward from the game, because the bosses are evolving too much and things are changing, and not a lot of people will understand how it will start to work. The thing is, this boss has very high numbers for defense and mag defense, but even more for physical defense than for mag defense. And the developers are doing this so that you can push your status further and further to defeat special bosses. But the thing is, most hardcore players are already on a cap. But even having the cap is not enough to defeat this boss. And I'll have to explain why. The thing is, when we click on a character, we all know that the first max status is 90.999. That's the max before you social mate a character. This star here means that it's social mated. So you have to now 14.999 status for attack when you social mate a character. You can push a little more by going through the character here, go to potential force, and opening the limit break nodes on the potential force. Like this one here, you have this, when you click on it, you get 500 more status for your cap. But that's very costly. You have to use Odin coins, you also have to use divine fragments. It's very costly. You also have this point here, this other point here, that needs you to just unlock one more attack for your character. It's very costly to reach a max potential for your character and reach the cap. So what happened with when the Japanese version got this boss? They had more ways to get more attack. They were reaching 21.5k max attack. We are only reaching 17.5k. That's 4,000 more status for attack in Japanese version against our version that don't have access to that much power. So we always get more status by party assist, and with this account I have easily access to the max cap. You can see it here because this account is very strong, and that means that I will just have enough all the time to reach the cap. But I have to limit break more of my characters. I can't do that because the global version doesn't have access to this. The Shakugan event in Japan is very recent. It's not even 1 year old in Japan, in the Japanese version. It's something like a little more than half a year. So you see that we are very close to reaching the content of the Japanese version. So this is why we don't have enough stuff to deal with this special boss. But then, based on the information I got from Discord and also for people that were talking about it, and I planned myself to trying to defeat this boss. I will show you how I plan it here. First of all, I'm using Kokuyo Start. Doesn't really matter, but she's my only character that reached the max potential. And well, you can see here she's using Wastadio instead. Even the two legendary weapons I have, like the Mizax and even Albitora. And why is that? Because Wastadio does more damage than the two weapons, because they are not colossal here. You can see that this weapon is the Mizax was changed for extreme, and Albitora is extreme as well. Like Wastadio is extreme, but Wastadio has two passives to further increase the dark damage. Okay, so I have this build here with Kokuyo being my main damage dealer, simply because I don't have any other. And with orbs, I'm using 4-4-4 combination. Okay, so let's get back here. I'm using any type of seal stone here because I have 4 seal stone. This one increases the physical attack, comes from Lanet. The other ones are not so important, but they are a little better. You see this one here is ice damage up. It hardly matters, just for more defensive. You can see here how much it gives you defense, 2,000 more. Okay, so now the other one I'm using is defense power that's coming from Groom Lucian, increases defense of all. It's very nice. And lastly, we have Holy Attack up. Doesn't matter because it's not being used, only for 2,000 more defense status. So you see that it kind of doubles here, but the most important coming from the party assist mechanic. So I talked about how I built my Kokuyo, now let's talk about how I built my Arbiter Hurst. This is the most important thing here. Like I said, we don't have any way to reach very high attack to break through the defense of the boss. The boss is probably having something around more than 10k defensive status, probably something around 15k or 20k. We get a lot more status by passives. The Lux Imperium is the most important thing to break through the defenses of an enemy, because it increases 120% attack of a character. 128, I think. I'm not so sure. It's either 120% or 128%. But it's just very important because it's one of it's the highest increasing attack we have in the game. We also have another weapon that a lot of people use that's called the Sacred Compass. The Sacred Compass only increases 80% of attack and 40% of holy damage. You can see here, holy damage. The thing is, holy damage is a multiplier on the end of the formula. If you didn't break through the defense before the end of the formula, it won't help you. It won't make any difference between the fight. So having the maxed Lux Imperium is very important going forward. But you need 5 copies of this weapon. It's a very old weapon, hard to get. You can sometimes get this weapon by choosing it with some special tickets the game give you. But it's been a long time since they gave us this thing. So I will talk about the other characters. I'm also using that Graciato because it has the struggle cause that increases 7% more of the attack. I'm using it here because I don't have that many other ways to use. And with Calamity God Lizard, he's one of the best characters I can use here. I would just change my Sanctify sped up because I was using it for the other fight, and change for Avenger's Word. And I have a passive, the 2 passive weapons I have is Sacred Compass because it can get more chances of inflicting blind. And the other one is Recentier to give even more chances of inflicting blind. So he is my main source of trying to inflict blind. Okay, so I have 5 attacks with him. It's very, it's enough because it will unleash 2 attacks of the attack that inflicts more chances of getting blind. And then lastly we have Leon, which felt like as a main weapon. It's just so we can survive some turns when the damage is very high from the boss. We have very high defense, and then using Feltlight will increase our defense even more. We have Lux Imperium, but Lux Imperium is only for turns that we want to inflict damage. Lux Imperium doesn't increase defense. We have 2 buff weapons that also heals. We have Leon as a main healer. We have Dragonian's Halberd as her second weapon, because it has 3% chances of critical hit hates, and Spear's Word Missile Time with Professional Eye that has 2 more. So based on this, we have very high chances of getting critical hits because we get Easy Going on level 25, gets 10% more critical hit chances. We have Omni to get 12% more damage, and Clever lastly with Guard Hate 9%. It's not maxed. But well, this is the best thing I could think of with what I had. And now we will just have to test it out to see if this is enough to defeat this boss or not. Remember, this is my first time trying to defeat it. I don't know. Let's just try it together. I will enter the fight here and I will see if it's auto or manual. It's not auto yet. See that this boss has 2 bars, 3 bars actually, he will revive 2 times. When we click here on pause, I will show you guys that my characters are maxed between their caps. This one has a better cap. Then we have Arbiter Hurst. She is on the normal max. We have Calamity God Lizard. He's on the normal max as well. And lastly we have Leon. She's on the normal max as well. The only one that is beyond the normal cap is Kokuyo. So that's becoming even harder to defeat this boss because of his high defenses. We all know this already because of Finn also posted on the Discord feedback channel trying to explain why the Wonder Planet didn't think about this stage of the battle. So well, I will just attack normally here and see how much this affects the game. Yeah, we already seen that the damage is very low, and coming from a character like Lizard, this battle will take quite a lot of time. Look at the damage that Arbiter Hurst is inflicting, it's very low. But she's also using Lux Imperium. Lux Imperium is non-elemental. I'm not using any buff yet, simply because I still have to save my Schwertline uses. You see the damage that he inflicted me, 20k damage with a very high defense. You can see here is probably for Mad God Lizard. He also drawing more attacks, but his defense is very high. You can see I'm very close even to the max cap of defense on the game. Okay, so for right now, I don't think I will use anything. I will still just attack normally, not even use Schwertline or the limited skill from Leon, because I think she can heal back even without using it. Yeah, she just healed it back. So this will be a very long fight. I just inflicted blind and curse on this boss. This is very nice. Okay, so well, let's just keep doing the same thing. We still have very large amounts of HP. I can simply click on auto here. I can even go for a drink. Yeah, he was blinded. So now I will just unleash my limited skill, because I think I need to heal a little more than before. Yeah, nice. I'm still very close to maximum health. We also have the Purification Gouge on max level now. The battle is still working the same. Nothing is changing. He's also resistant to Purify attack damage now. Also weak to Staff and Dark. I don't have staffs on this account that are strong enough to compensate. 40,000 damage on my Kokuyo. That's insane damage, guys. I'm also just look up the Kokuyo defense. Let's just check it out. You see, she's very close to the first cap of the physical defense, but I don't know if that was a magical attack or not. Sometimes it works as a magical attack, but it's physical. I think it's probably a magical attack. So right now, I still don't think I need to use anything. I will just keep going with what I have. I won't use my Purify attack. I can at least do is my limited skill. He's blinded again. This is very good. Blind is very important here. Yeah, he's just inflicted with blind again. Blind didn't help too much right now. So okay, we still have a lot of HP. I don't think I even need to use my limited skill with Leon yet. Yeah, we just inflicted blind again. They're reaching the end of the first bar. Now look at the damage that he inflicted. So now I will unleash my limited skill, but I still will save my Schweltline. The Arbiter Hearse also has a Drain Sword. Wish it was with Kokuyo, it would make it way better. We didn't inflict blind this time, so we will have to receive full damage from the boss. Let's see how much is full damage. 25k. We inflicted blind. $32k damage. Okay, so this is the last turn, I think, before he revives himself. The good thing is we didn't use any of our action skills. Maybe not. I think he will survive. Let's just use Purify Attack to see how much damage it will inflict. He resisted, but it was enough to kill it. But at least we reduce it by 1 turn. Resistance changed by Revival, preparing to unleash. It was just too fast. I didn't understand what he meant by that. But he's technically saying that he is preparing to unleash an attack. But he's now not resistant to Purify attacks anymore. But he's strong to physical and magical damage. So, I don't know. I think I will just attack normally for now. If I inflict blind, I don't think I need to use Schweltline. Yeah, I can inflict blind now. And look at the damage I'm inflicting. Very, very low damage. Now he's strong to either physical and magical attacks. Okay, that was not that much damage. I will unleash my Arbiter Hearse Purify attack to see how much damage it does. But look, my 8,000 damage. It's very, very low. You really need to use a buff, but I still save it. Did inflict blind again. poison is very good here. I think I will use my limited skill. Seems like he's more resistant to blind now, or even immune to it. I am inflicting poison, and this is probably helping a lot. But blind? I forgot to use my push attack the last turn. Let me use now. See the damage. Doesn't really help. The poison do help. Unleash the nation. So you see, it's a nuke. Totally fucking nuke. Okay. So I didn't count the number of turns, but I think we have only 5 turns to defeat the boss when we reach that point. So I will just pause the video and reach the same point as the second life of the boss, and then I will just try to use my all of my resources to get it done. So okay, let's try again. See how much damage a boss can perform. I don't even look at an damage. So we are now back on the second phase of this boss, and I will try a different approach this time. I will save my Purify attack for the final attack. I will start by using the Oxen Period. Then I will simply unleash all limited enchant skills of my squad. Okay. So I can also do the limited skill with Leon. I will try to use Leon to see if the boss is defending or not at the start of the fight. Yeah, you see, he was defending. And the reason why I waited to use my Purify attack, I will explain now. It's simply because Kokuyo gets... No, she doesn't really make much difference, but some other characters do. Arbiter Hearst gets more... her Purify attack is higher, you can see here. No, actually no. Actually, only Calamity God Lizard gets more. Proves all status according to Purification Gorge level. So maybe it's not that much, but everything helps on this fight. So now I will just unleash my Purify attack. Let's see if it was enough. Probably it was. So you see that even just a little more on limit break, it will help you get more damage on this fight. Now he's done and he will revive himself. Social Awaken. I don't know what he's meaning by this. It's now resistant to action skill damage, so it was the best decision. Using action skill damage on the second phase is the best thing. We now have Schwertlight to help with the fight. We still have our Lox Imperium if we need some nuke. We will only use Lox Imperium when I have the full gauge for Purify attacks. In the meantime, I only use the Schwertlight. Another thing that I want to explain is simply that Kokuyo can also do a little more damage if you watch out for her Black Impulse passive. If you are using Kokuyo, she also gets more damage on specific turns. I was not counting on my fight, but if you do count, it's on every 3 turns, I think. So okay, now I will just watch and see how this fight goes from here. Just use normal attack, and not use my Schwertlight, at least for now. I just hope he doesn't have another nuke. He got poisoned, blinded, cursed. He's now doing 3 attacks on a turn. Maybe a little harder than before. So I will use Schwertlight now. I just inflicted blind again. Calamity God really helps on this fight if you manage to raise his chances of inflicting blind. Kokuyo is blinded as well. So okay, now cell activation, he just got a buff. The cell activation happens with a lot of this type of enemies, and it's a buff to all of his status. We can check by clicking on pause, and you can see here it's both for physical attack, mag defense, and simple defense as well. So this not while this buff is active, it's not exactly the best turn for me to use the Lox Imperium. So you have to use Schwertlight on the turns that he's buffed, or the damage will be very high. You can also survive better if you're inflicting blind as well, because blind randomizes the damage that the boss inflicts to you. Let's see if I can inflict blind. Yeah, blind just landed. Blind is really helping here. But he's still buffed. I have 3 bars, I could have just unleashed my Lox Imperium, but I will wait another turn. And I can simply also wait for Schwertlight to finish. Schwertlight lasts for 3 turns. Lox Imperium for a single turn. I also really hope I can inflict blind. This time didn't land blind. Because when I use Lox Imperium, my defenses will all be buffed. Or maybe I can simply use Schwertlight on the end of the turn, but I don't think it's a good idea. He just inflicted blind again. See the damage? I don't know. Well, he's still buffed. Either way, I will just use Valkyrie again and use Purify attack. I know that I'm blinded, but I don't have time to wait for the blind to wear off. I can use it again. And I forgot to use the limited skill from my returns. Such a long fight, sometimes you just forget some stuff. He's just buffing himself again. This means that he will probably stay buffed for the whole fight. At least we just inflicted the blind again. There's no sign of having a nuke attack again. So you only have to survive the second phase. And then I have a very strong healing on the third phase. And chances of blind to help you. When I lose my Schwelt like buff, I will really have to depend on having blind active. Blind just landed, so I'm fine here. He tries to use blind every 3 turns. I will use Locks in Turn here and try to use all of my enchanted and limited skills again. And use Purify Attack on the enemy. Yeah, it was the best course of action. So I only need one more turn to defeat him. Maybe 2 turns because he just blinded me. Either way, he was poisoned, so he took a lot of HP. So I think using my Locks Imperium, my last one, is enough to defeat him now. But blind is such a terrible buff. Debuff, sorry. But yeah, I was enough. It was enough. He's dead. Let me just finish my attacks. Just die already. I will watch my last. Boom, Purify Attack animation. And yeah guys, we just defeated this boss. It was such a long fight, the longest fight I ever had on this game, and probably in some other games as well. But we won. But for what? Just a title. Is this? A title and 2 large AP pots. title, had Stalker, and yeah, 2 large AP pots, that's it. Totally not worked, but this is the hardest type of challenge we have in this game, so maybe sometime it's something that you can try out. Okay guys, we just defeated this boss. This was a very long fight. It's not for everyone. I tried to explain why it's not for everyone. I had kind of a lot of stuff that free-to-play players will probably don't have access to. Having access to a maxed Lux Imperium is not an easy thing. On my other account, I only had Lux Imperium on level 2. The best ways to get this is probably by doing the Gold Summon. It's here. It's not so good chance to get it because there's very low chances of getting any 6-star weapons from this type of banner, but well, there's a chance anyway. And also, if you want to plan ahead to future content, maybe if they don't release or limit break nodes, it will be good to try to get this weapon with the future selector if they do give us. Maybe when the game gets to 1-year anniversary, maybe we'll get a ticket to choose from weapons. Lux Imperium on level 1 is the same buff, at least the same attack buff that we have with Sacred Compass, but Sacred Compass is good when the boss doesn't have such high defenses. But most of the time from here onwards, Lux Imperium will give you more damage than any other weapon like the Sacred Compass. So, well, this is my advice for you guys. Maybe if you can have this weapon, well, this is something that you will have to use. Well, this is it guys, thanks for watching this video. Sorry for it being long, it's a long fight. We see each other on the next video. Bye.